Yeah, I'm gonna go live in just a few moments. The fight has been made official. Esparza versus Zhang for UFC 281. I'm gonna talk about it tonight a little bit. We have got a lot of fights to review and then to preview as well. So I'm gonna get started in a few moments. So if you're watching on the playback, here's when you fast forward to about a minute or so into the stream. We're going to talk about some fights tonight. Give it about 10 more seconds and we'll get going. We got some people. All right. Welcome back to WMMA Now with your host, Jeff Stevenson. Welcome to episode, well, this says 136. I made a mistake. It's episode 135 of the WMMA Report regular show. We're going over everything going on in the world of the women's divisions of mixed martial arts. Tonight, it's official. Esparza versus Zhang, UFC 281 at Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York. Strawweight Championship. The first ever champion reclaimed her title. She's going to defend it against the former champion out of China. So excited. I'm excited for it. Nervous about it. But it's going to be a good fight. Definitely going to be a good fight. And they announced another fight for that card, too, that should be pretty good. So excited about that one, too. But we'll get to that one in the news. And we'll get to this in just a little bit. So to get started, we got to talk about the weekend results. All right, first up, Bellator 284 went down Friday night in South Dakota. Had two ladies fights. First up, at flyweight, Deanna Bennett defeated Justine Kish via unanimous decision. Bennett climbed to 13-7. Kish fell to 8-6. This is a repeat of February. I mean, everything about this. Well, I would say this wasn't as boring as the fight in February, but yeah, it was basically a repeat. Like we just saw this in February, and Bellator thought for some reason that I don't know. Excuse me. Bellator for whatever reason thought let's run this one back. I don't know. It kind of stinks for Kish because she had that big win over Alima McFarland, in between the two fights, and this just set her back completely. Anyway, also on that card, Lima McFarland made a successful return. After losing two in a row, she bounced back to defeat Bruna Ellen via unanimous decision. McFarland missed weight for this fight and did all right. She survived a pretty scary guillotine in the third round. Honestly, it's hard to get excited for McFarland fights anymore. Like she's made it known, like I'm running out my Bellator contract and I'm going to retire. So it's hard to get excited for her because she literally has one foot out the door already. Then we had Combate Global had, well, it was advertised as an all ladies card. They did have one men's fight, but anyway. Okay, at flyweight, Aitana Alvarez defeated Tyler Schaefer via TKO 3:41 of the second round. Alvarez come to 2-3. Schaefer fell to 1-3. I did a full review on this one in a separate video. If you want to go check that out later on, but this is a fun little fight. Nothing too complicated or high level, but just a fun fight. Alvarez getting it done via TKO. Definitely showed some improvement over her last fight against Marita Sanchez, where she lost, but she also took that fight on short notice. At atomweight, Melissa Gomez defeated Elizabeth Avila via split decision. Gomez climbed to 2-0. Avila on the left there fell to 0-4. Probably the worst of the ladies' fights on the card. I mean, it was just wasn't very good. A lot of swinging from way outside, and yeah, it just wasn't that great. And in the flyweight co-main event, Roslyn Chavira defeated Flor Chavez via TKO in between the first and second rounds. Chavira climbed to 3-0. Chavez fell to 1-1. Chavez hurt her ankle at some point. I'm still not sure when, but couldn't continue after the first round. Chavira, Chavira has some of the prettiest boxing I've seen in MMA in a long time. I mean, very, very fundamental, just 1, 2, 3, straight down the pipe, jab, cross, hook, but it worked. I mean, Chavez came in very sloppy, just mostly trying to use her aggression and athleticism. And I honestly thought it would be enough to get past Shavira's technique, but Shavira used that technique right and just beat up on Chavez. Really nice for Shavira. Then in the main event at strawweight, Claire Lopez defeated Camila Rivarola. The submission due to rear naked choke, 44 seconds in the first round. Lopez climbed to 7-4. Rivarola on the left hand side then fell to 4-4. This fight was over in a blink. Lopez did a very nice job. She was faking takedowns once, twice, on the second fake. Got Rivarola like leaning over a little bit. Boom, Lopez hit a big uppercut, followed her to the ground, stomped on the rear naked choke. Didn't have it under the neck, on the neck, had it over the chin, but still it was tight enough to force Rivarola to tap. Really nice job there for Claire Lopez. She's beaten 3 top 10 strawweights in boxing. She wants to move down to atom. So she does that. She can keep that power in her hands. She's going to be scary at atom. And on Saturday, we had Cage Warriors. Cage Warriors had a ladies' fight in the lightweight division of all places. But Jasmine Favero defeated Stephanie Evans via TKO 3:48 of the second round. Favero climbed 1-0. Evans fell to 0-1. I didn't watch this. I didn't really watch Cage Warriors very often, but a rare lightweight belt. Thought I should give it some shine. Jasmine Favero probably just earned her a spot in the PFL season next year with that one. So keep an eye on her. We had UFC Fight Night. Favero versus Cruz had 4 ladies bouts. 4. First up at flyweight, Nina Nunes defeated Cynthia Calvillo with decision. Nunes climbed to 11-7. Calvillo fell to 9-5. Decent win for Nunes, who retired right after. Going to go home and going to have a couple more kids. And Calvillo just, I don't know. You want to say it's back to the drawing board, but after a certain point, you kind of just want to take that whole drawing board and toss it out and just completely reinvent stuff. I don't know what she's got to do to get back in a groove, but she's got to do something. Maybe go back to Charlotte. I don't know. Like, Calvillo just wants to stay off for the sport. Then at strawweight, Edward Hill defeated Hill on the 14-12, so Venus fell to 3. Hill getting it done. Venus just was not able to open up those games at all. Credit to Hill for that one. And I said this in the weekend recap show, but Venus is one of those fighters that she runs works on a system, and she has to step by step in that system. So it's hard to take one of those steps out. Boom, her system falls apart. Yes, go back to the beginning, but it does is offer the breakfast. So the stuff or the steps that will take it away, the stuff that will come up. And so it takes the stuff to stand up and go through the outside, and that is the and my weight, Philip Katrina, I'm writing inside there, you see the day on what PSKO, PSKO, yeah, every time I see that word not coming out, because I'm not in front of it. It's just really fun. It's really fun. It's like the drummer that goes can fight, can fight, dumber her future opponents then fight. It's a never-ending circle. It's not hard to beat Priscilla. Don't stand in front of her and trade punches. What did Ariane Lipski do? Stand in front of her, trade punches. Then she gets tagged, and then she loses all sense and just stays right there in the same spot and gets obliterated. Ah, I don't know. Someone explain it to me. I just don't get it. And that's not to take away from Quechua, but I mean, the blueprint to beat her is there. Like, and it's not super difficult to implement. It's just her opponents are just going in there and tossing any sense of a game plan out the window. Also on the main card at strawweight, Yasmin Hawagi defeated Yasmin Lucindo via unanimous decision. Hawagi climbed to 9-0. Lucindo fell to 13-5. Great fight. Absolutely great fight by these two young debutantes. Both of them were making their UFC debut on the main card, and they performed. They more than lived up to actually, they exceeded my expectations. They even exceeded my expectations. Like, I had high expectations for Hawagi, and she got in a little bit of trouble in the first, got tagged a little bit, but survived and overcame to beat Lucindo. If Lucinda is one of those fighters, she has some natural power. And if she learned how to deliver it better, she'd be scary. Hawagi doesn't have the power, but she has the speed and the technique, and she's already scary. I still want to see her tested on the ground because I have yet to really see her tested there, and I've watched almost all of her fights. But this one, definitely future contender here. Lucindo, I'm going to say the jury's still out. Exciting fighter, exciting style. But I see a lot of fighters beating her. Then finally on Dana White's Contender Series, Haley Cowan defeated Claudia Leite in a bantamweight bout via split decision. Cowan climbed to 7-2. Leite fell to 7-3, and Cowan got a UFC contract. Myself, I haven't watched this fight yet, so I can't really say anything about it. Sounds like it was pretty close though. So that is it for your weekend results. Now, before we get into the news, I got to do some housekeeping that I forgot at the start. So, only thing I'm really going to ask you to do in this stream is to hit that like button. That like button draws, really helps pump up the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm for the stream. Every like this video gets, it helps draw the attention of the algorithm and helps it to produce, or no, to propel, to we'll say propel this stream on people's feeds. and pump it up there and make it more noticeable, including to people who are already subscribed, but also to people who aren't subscribed. So please hit that like button. And if at any time you say, man, I like this content, or I like the other things this guy's doing, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and keep an eye out for more good content. And that's really it for now. Anyway, that's it for the weekend results. So let's move on into the news. Not a whole lot here, but so we're just going to breeze through it. All right, first up, 12-2 Brazilian strawweight Adriana Silva announced via her Instagram that she has signed a multi-fight contract with Invicta FC. So always good to see. 12-2 is a nice little record for a strawweight getting signed to Invicta. So looking forward to seeing what she does for the promotion. Then UFC has a fight night scheduled for November 5th. They booked a strawweight bout. Jinyu Fry taking on Polyana Viana. And gotta feel like the loser could very possibly get cut from the promotion in that fight. Both have had, mixed results their entire UFC tenures. So we'll see. Then we had a couple of one championship announcements. First up, one championship 161 goes down September 29th. That's early morning in the U.S., prime time if you're in Asia. They added a one atomweight, 115-pound bout. Ritu Phogat taking on Tiffany Teo. Tiffany Teo, the former 125-pound challenger, two-time 125-pound title challenger, is making her way down to 115 pounds, and welcoming her there is going to be the Indian wrestler Ritu Phogat, who's looking to bounce back from a loss to Stamp Fairtex back in December in the finals of the one atomweight Grand Prix. So that should make for a good one. A couple of grapplers there. And then taking place that night in the U.S. or the next morning if you're in Asia, one on Prime Video 2 is going to feature a trilogy bout. For the 125-pound title, Seong Jin-nan is going to defend her title against the 115-pound champion Angela Lee for the second time. So the first time these two met, it was for Seong's 125-pound title, with Seong coming out, keeping her belt. Second time they met, Seong went down to 115 to challenge Angela Lee for her title and failed in that bid. Angela Lee got to keep her title. This time, Angela Lee coming back. She's had one title defense in three and a half years, but hey, why defend your title, right? Let's go up and challenge for the title again after failing twice or once already. And she's going up to challenge Seong for her title again. This was actually the subject of Tuesday night's stream. If you want to go check that out and watch me rant about it. Then UFC 280 goes down October 22nd in Abu Dhabi. They added a bantamweight bout. Lena Landsberg taking on Carol Hossa. You know what? Landsberg versus Hossa. I like that one. Landsberg's getting up there in years and fight experience. Hossa is still on the come up, I think. And this is Hossa's chance to get some momentum going behind her. And then FEN 41, I believe that stands for Fight Exclusive Night 41, goes down next weekend in Poland. They've added a ladies bantamweight main event. Ekaterina Shakalova coming in at 7-1, taking on the Finnish Suvi Salmimis, coming in at 12-5-1. This will be so. How do I put this? So Shakalova is Ukrainian, and she actually fled Ukraine because of the war. I forget what part she was in, but it was a part that I believe was either captured by the Russians or was heavily threatened by the Russians. So she fled across the border to Poland, and I believe that's where she's been and has been training ever since then. So this will be her first fight since before, the hostilities broke out. Taking on a much more experienced fighter in Suvi Salmimis. So looking forward to that one. Shakalova, if I remember right, was one of my prospects to watch in 2022. Bantamweight, young bantamweight, pretty young, and seems like a decent fighter, good grappler. So we'll be keeping an eye out on that one. Don't know how you'll be able to watch it, but at least look for a replay. And then LFA 142 goes down September 16th in Minnesota. They have a strawweight championship bout. Jacqueline Amorim defending her title for the first time against Ashley AK-47 Nichols. If I remember correctly, Ashley Nichols is an Invicta veteran. Let me check. Yeah, she fought for Invicta on 2 different occasions, lost both times back in 2018. Hasn't fought too much since then. Did pick up a win at LFA 125 back in February. That was the same card that Amorim won the title. It was vacant at the time. So now these two are meeting in September for the championship. And it looks like it's going to be the headlining bout too, which is nice. Go LFA. Then Invicta 49 goes down in sometime in September. Date for it. I don't have the official date for it, but apparently there's going to be a flyweight bout. Shauna Bannon taking on Nadia Vera. This will be Bannon's Invicta debut. And then Dana White Contender Series on September 13th added a strawweight bout. Bruna Brazil taking on Marnik Mann. Both of those ladies, I believe, are LFA veterans. So LFA really like a steadfast part of that pipeline to the UFC. Like especially like even before LFA, hooked up with UFC Fight Pass, they were sending a lot of fighters to the UFC. But now that they're on Fight Pass, man, it's like so many of their good fighters go to the UFC, whether it's through Contender Series or Tough or straight through. It's like LFA. It's like the AAA league in baseball terms, which is like right below Major League if you don't know baseball. Final piece of news here. UFC 281, November 12th, New York City, added a strawweight bout. Karolina Kowalkiewicz taking on Silvana Gomez Juarez. Woo! I like that one. That is a battle of strikers. But as a Karolina fan, that fight, I'll be honest, as a Karolina fan, like ride or die Kowalkiewicz fan, that fight has me nervous because Kowalkiewicz has not been able to absorb the hits like she used to, and her defense has never been very good. And Silvana Gomez Juarez, man, she hits hard, like one punch power. That has me nervous as a Karolina fan. I got to be honest. All right, so that's it for the news. Let's take that banner down. Got a comment in the chat there. Easy E in the chat says, I watched the UFC pre-fight presser today, and I've seen some horrible pressers in my lifetime. But, man, it was horrible. Worst I've ever seen. I don't know what to say. I never watched the pressers. Well, I won't say I never watched them, but it is a rare event for me to watch a presser. So, tonight's stream brought to you by Venom Energy. Not really, but I'd probably be sleeping if not for it right now. So that is it for the news. So we're going to keep things moving. Let's talk rankings updates. Hopefully this is big enough for you to see. But let's start at Bellator Flyweight. So after this past weekend, Deanna Bennett, after repeating against Justine Kish, gets moved up one spot from 6 to 5, lowering Vida Ortega down to number 6. Vida Ortega just had a good win too recently. So kind of sucks to be her right now, but I mean, Bennett just beat Kish, who had just beaten McFarlane, who's at number 4, so it makes sense. Then at featherweight, Diana Silva moved up 1 spot from number 8 to number 7. But where's number 8? Janae Harding was at number 7. Now she's removed from the rankings. And there's only 7 spots below the champ, so 8 spots total. So I don't know what's going on with Janae Harding. Did they just remove her from the rankings for some strange reason? Is she off of the Bellator roster for some reason? I don't know what's going on there. It's just weird to me. It's like, why are you releasing fighters from a division that you don't have any replacements in? I just don't understand it. But to all the people saying, oh, you know, they should put more effort into featherweight. Well, into the featherweight division. Well, Bellator has been. And this is what they've been able to accomplish. They can't even fill out a top 10. And I don't mean to bag on the featherweight fighters personally, but that division has, obviously, if this is the best featherweight division in the sport, what does it tell you about the division? Anyway, moving on to the UFC rankings, and I will enlarge this one because it's kind of small writing. But Nina Nunes, because of her retirement, has been removed from the strawweight rankings. So Jessica Penny is back in at number 15, and everyone that was below Nina Nunes at number 9 gets moved up 1 spot. So Pinheiro from 15 to 14, Ducote now at 13, Angela Hill at 12, Verna Jandiroba at 1 or 11, Michelle Watterson Gomez at 10, and Amanda Hebos at 9. And Hebos fought her last fight was at flyweight, and her next fight's at flyweight. So why is she ranked still at strawweight? Then at flyweight itself, Cynthia Galvillo losing to an unranked fighter. She drops down 2 spots to number 14, allowing, Tracy Cortez and Aaron Blanchfield to each move up 1 spot. So that's it for your rankings updates. So just a friendly reminder, the chat is open. You know, Easy E with the lone comment over there, he's looking lonely. But another friendly reminder, if please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. So that's it for the rankings. So let's get into the weekend preview. We've got a number of events. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 events to cover for this weekend. Starting on Friday night, we've got Combate Global. Yep. We have 2 bouts that are definitely scheduled, and one that is supposed to be rescheduled from last week. We'll see if it actually gets on the air. Don't know. But anyway, first up is going to be an atomweight bout on the prelims. Katie Perez on the right-hand side there of the photo, taking on Andrea Meneses Garcia. Taking a look at the stats here. Perez coming in at 3-2. Meneses coming in at 3-0. So obviously Meneses undefeated. She last fought 4 months ago, picking up a decision in her Combate debut. Perez last fought a little over a month ago, and where she picked up a triangle choke submission. You know, told Combate, like, hey, I want to get back in there and fight as soon as possible, and Combate obliged her. So gotta like fighters like Perez who want to stay active and get in there and get in some action. Let's see. Perez is the elder fighter, 29 to 25. They are the same height, 5 feet 3 inches, 160 centimeters. No reach on topology for Meneses. Perez has a listed reach of 64.5 inch, 164 centimeters. I'm taking Katie Perez in this one. she just has a certain meanness to her and a certain killer instinct that menaces I just haven't seen from her so far. And not to say that she isn't good. I mean, she's undefeated at 3-0. But Perez is just one of those mean fighters that, goes in there looking for that finish. So we'll go with Katie Perez. And then at a 120-pound catchweight bout, we have Yasmin Nahara taking on Valentina Escobar. Both ladies have one pro fight each. Yasmin last fought a little over a year ago in some Mexican promotion. Escobar last fought 3.5 months ago in Combate, where she picked up a unanimous decision in her pro debut. Looks like Nahara is 1 year the elder, 25 to 24. And also 1 inch taller, 5 feet 5 inch, 165 centimeters, to 5 feet 4 inches, 163 centimeters. I'm not familiar enough with either of these two. I went with Escobar just because she's the one I've actually seen fight before. So we'll go with Escobar based on that totally scientific method of picking a fighter. And then Dee Begley versus Jessica Ortega. Begley on the right there. Supposed to be taking on Jessica Ortega. This bout got rescheduled from last week. Apparently, Ortega's paperwork for her blood test didn't come back in time. So they moved the fight back a week. They moved it up from 125 to 130 catch weight. According to Begley's social media, it's going on tomorrow. We'll see. But I don't even remember what pick I made for this. Go check out last week's stream for more info on this bout. So then we move to Saturday, and we go all the way across the Pacific to South Korea. We have Double GFC 13 Flyweight Championship. Jung Yoon Chae on the left here taking on Hyunji Jan or John Hyunji. Topology has no information on this card, but that just means Double G hasn't submitted it. So I can't give you any stats or anything on these two. Definitely expect Chae to have, or no, Chae. Yeah. Chae Jung-yoon to have a significant height advantage over John. John is a short fighter, pretty squat built. Chae is tall and lanky. She'll definitely have a height advantage. I'm picking Chae for size advantage and everything, not just height, but overall size. But that's not definite. And I wish I had better stats and everything to give you in front of me, but oh well. We're going with Chae. If you want to watch that, probably going to be either on YouTube or Africa TV. That's AFREECA TV. And you'll need a VPN. Then also on Saturday, on the other side of the world in Europe, we have KSW 73. We have one ladies bout at, according to Topology, it's going to be at flyweight, which is surprising. Let me double check because, yep, at flyweight. Karolina Avzar is taking on Natalia Bazinska. Then I might be pronouncing that wrong as well. Anyway, Avzar is coming in at 4-2. Bazinska coming in at 6-2. Both ladies coming in off of a loss. Avzar is 9 months ago. Bazinska 3.5 months ago. Both in KSW. No age for Natalia Bazinska. Avzar's is 29. Looks like Avzar is 1 inch taller, 5 feet 6 inches, 168 centimeters to 5 feet 5 inch, 164 centimeters. With Avzar's having a reach as well, 66.9 inch, 170 centimeters to 65.4 inch, 166 centimeters for Bazinska. Uh, I don't really have a pick on this one. I haven't been able to watch enough uh, tape on Bazinska to really make a judgment on her. Like, I know that Avzars is the one being heavily pushed by KSW, the aesthetics and whatnot. But I don't feel comfortable picking on this one. So then, sticking in Europe, we move over to the UK, where we have the PFL 2022 playoffs, PFL 9 for 2022. Got 3 ladies bouts. And okay, I forgot to grab the picture for the first one. We'll skip over it. I'll talk about it in a bit. But everyone's really watching because of the lightweights. First up, we have Larissa Pacheco taking on Elena Kolesnik in the first of the 2 semifinal bouts for the PFL playoffs. I think this is actually a rematch as well. Anyway, Pacheco coming in at 17-4. Kolesnik coming in at 7-4. Pacheco's riding a nice 4-fight winning streak here. Last fought, defeated Jenna Fabian via TKO, via ground and pound. Kolesnik riding 2 wins here. Defeated Vanessa Mello via decision on that same event as Pacheco. Now, about a year ago, Pacheco did defeat Kolesnik via knockout, so keep that in mind. But Kolesnik's the elder fighter, 32-27. She will be the taller fighter as well, 5 feet 9 inches, 175 centimeters to 5 feet 6 inches, 168 centimeters for Pacheco. However, Pacheco has a longer reach, 69 inches, 175 centimeters to 68 inches, 173 centimeters. This is an easy pick. Got to go with Larissa Pacheco. She already beat Kolesnik before, a year ago, and she did it by finish. Unless Kolesnik pulls a rabbit out of her hat, I think Pacheco is going to do it the same thing. I'll tell you what, Larissa Pacheco scares me. That is one scary, scary lady. I mean, she weighs about as much as I do. Deeper voice than most dudes I know. And she knocks people out. She's scary. Excuse me. Got the hiccups. Okay. Moving on, the other side of the playoff brackets and the main event, we got Kayla Harrison taking on Martina Yendrova. Harrison's undefeated, 14-0. Yendrova at 6-2. Obviously, like I just said, Harrison's undefeated. Last fought, Caitlin Yan picked up a TKO from there. And then Yendrova, same event, picked up a TKO win over, Zamzagul Faizalanova. I'm going to go get a drink of water real quick because these hiccups are getting terrible. All right. Hopefully, got those hiccups taken care of. Sorry about that. Where was I? I was on the stats for Harrison and Yandrova. Harrison's 1 year, the elder, 32 to 31. They're the same height, 5 feet 8 inches, 172 centimeters for Yandrova, 173 for Harrison. Looks like Yandrova has the reach advantage, very slight reach advantage, 68 inches, 173 centimeters to 66 inches, 168 centimeters for Harrison. Is anybody picking against Kayla Harrison in this bout? I mean, it would be really cool to see an upset. It'd be really cool because upsets are always awesome. Always fun to watch and, shake things up. But I'm not picking the upset. I'm going to go with Kayla Harrison to win this one. So that's it for PFL. Before we move on, let's take a look at the chat here. Easy E says, Bellator women's featherweight is hanging on by a thread these days. Not surprised, though. Hard to find many decent female fighters at that weight. It is. I mean, and people keep saying, well, if you build it, they will come. Well, Bellator tried to build it. And nobody's really come out for it. So, I don't know. What was a rat out of her hat? Did I say rat? I meant to say rabbit. Thanks, Colostrum. Easy E says pretty much going to be Pacheco and Harrison for the belt. Third time is the charm. I hope Kayla just annoys me. LOL. Yeah. Third time could be the charm for Pacheco. I mean, if she hits Kayla once, really, with a power shot, is going to be what makes that fight, the third fight, interesting. We know Pacheco has that power now. I mean, we've seen it. Can Harrison withstand that power? We don't know. That's what makes that fight so interesting if when it happens. And then Colostrum says Yandrova will probably get a few good hits, but Kayla's strength is on another planet. Very true. Very true. So anyway, we will move on to UFC 278. Usman versus Edwards 2. We've got two ladies bouts. First up on the prelims, we have a flyweight bout. Miranda Maverick taking on Shanna Young. Fear the Maverick coming in at 10-4. The Shanimal coming in at 8-4. Both ladies coming in off of a win, preceded by 2 losses. So for Maverick, she beat Sabina Mazo 5 months ago, preceded by losses to Macy Barber and Erin Blanchfield. Shanna Young, on the other hand, coming in off of a win over Gina Mazzani, preceded by a loss to Macy Chason and Stephanie Edgar. And those at bantamweight? Flyweight. Oh, the Mazzani fight was at flyweight. Okay. And let's see. Young is the elder fighter, 31-25. Young is taller, 5 feet 7 inches, 170 centimeters to 5 feet 3 inch, 161 centimeters for Maverick. They have the same reach, half-inch Maverick's way, 65.5 inches, 166 centimeters to 65 inches, 165 centimeters for Shanna Young. Okay, so here's the thing. These two already faced each other once before in Invicta. It was at the Phoenix Series 2. Looks like the second round of the one-night tournament. And Miranda Maverick defeated Young via rear naked choke submission. 2 minutes, 35 seconds of what was the first and only round of that fight. Okay, Young has definitely made some improvements since then, but I still have a hard time picking her over Miranda Maverick, so that's going to be my pick. Again, you already beat the girl once. You already finished her once. Statistics show that whoever wins the first fight usually wins the rematch, especially if there is a finish in the first fight. I think the stats I looked up for one time for the UFC was like 60% of 60% of the time, whoever won the initial fight wins the rematch. So I'm going with Miranda Maverick. And then also this is at bantamweight. And this fight got moved to the main card. Like, it just got moved to the main card today. I am mad because I was not going to buy the pay-per-view. And now I'm probably going to. But anyway, this is what I'm looking forward to. This is the fight I'm looking forward to this weekend. Lucia Pudilova returning to the UFC after something like 2-year absence, taking on Wu Yanan, who is most likely a do-or-die fight for her. Do-or-die fight for her in the UFC. But Pudilova coming in at 13-7. Wu coming in at 13-5. Now, Pudilova has won 4 out of her last 5 bouts. She's riding 2 wins coming into this via split decision 9 months ago, and then the unanimous decision 3.5 months ago. She's been fighting in Octagon with a K over there in the Czech Republic since getting released from the UFC back in 2020. Yeah, back in January of 2020. Wu Yanan is practically winless in the UFC. She has 1 win, and it was 3.5 years ago over Luan Mueller. Lost her debut, and then has lost 3 since the win over Mueller. Split decision to Mizuki Inoue. Decision to Jocelyn Edwards 1.5 years ago, and then just 3.5 months ago, lost a decision to Mayra Bueno Silva. That was a good fight too. It was a fun fight. But for Wu, it is definitely, she's on the chopping block right now. They are, let's see, Pudilova is the elder fighter by 2 years, 28-26. They are the same height, 5 feet 8 inches, 173 centimeters. And Pudilova has the longer reach, 67.5 inch, 171 centimeter to 66 inches, 168 centimeters for Wu. So I'm going with my girl Pudilova to win this one. Her fights lately haven't been quite as exciting as they were in her UFC, her previous UFC venture, but she's been making a lot of improvements and has been fighting a lot smarter, which will definitely contribute to that sometimes. But the improvements I've seen from Pudilova definitely weigh out any improvements I've seen from Wu. So I'm going with Pudilova. And it'll probably be the last time we see Wu Yanan in the octagon. Oh, all right. So that is it for your weekend preview. So let's talk about probably what everybody came in for tonight. Made a video last night talking about it being targeted, but not quite official. But as the champ, Carla Esparza, says it is official. Carla Esparza versus Weili Zhang at UFC 281 in Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York, for the UFC Strawweight Championship. Woo! I'm excited, but you can see from the picture here from Esparza's Instagram post, she straight up says, Carla says, it's official. UFC 281 Madison Square Garden on November 12th. Let me see if I can pick up the stats here. All right, Topology has the stats up. Let me bring them over to the screen here. All right, so The Cookie Monster coming in at 19-6. Magnum coming in at 22-3. Esparza's riding a nice, was it 5-fight win streak, or is it 6? Maybe up to 6. 6-fight win streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. 6-fight win streak in the MMA. Of course, Carla last fought 3 months ago against Namajunas in a fight that is best forgotten, picking up a split decision win. Best forgotten because that fight was absolutely terrible. Zhang, on the other hand, halted a 2-fight skid. Both of those losses came to Rose Namajunas. Then she picked up a knockout win over Joanna Jędrzejczyk just over 2 months ago. Very nice finish for Zhang as well. Esparza's 2 years the elder, 35-33. Magnum will be the taller fighter, 5 feet 4 inches, 163 centimeters to 5 feet 1 inch, 155 centimeters. However, they have the same height, or reach rather, 63 inches, 160 centimeters. So that's your stats on that one. So hands up. Who's excited? I am. So far, I see a ton of people. I mean, a ton of people. Totally dismissing Esparza. Yeah, Colostrum in the chat even says it. A lot of people counting Carla out, but she has a chance to win. She used her wrestling wisely. And that's going to be the thing. Esparza's wrestling threat. Like, the threat of her wrestling was enough to scare Rose Namajunas into inaction. Like, the threat of her wrestling was enough to completely terrify Rose Namajunas into complete inaction. Now, granted, Zhang is no slouch on the ground. She's no slouch on the ground if she's the one getting the takedown. But, like Colostrum just says, people forget Weili's not good on her back. Yes, Weili got taken down and admittedly laden prayed by Rose Namajunas. And Rose is not exactly known for great takedowns. Good on the ground, yes, very slick, but she's not really a lay and pray fighter, or never was before that fight. And like I said, she's not really known for having great takedowns. But Namajunas got Zhang down, and makes you wonder, will Carla be able to do the same? I think it's a very, very high possibility. Now, to do that, she's got to weather the storm in the stand-up, and that is Zhan's wheelhouse in the stand-up. I mean, Esparza's stand-up has improved a long ways from where she used to be, but she still doesn't always react well to getting hit. Tends to squint up, you know, like, and then she gets hit. And could be nighty-night for Esparza. She starts getting tagged. It's not going to be like one shot. Like, Zhan's really not a one-hitter quitter. I mean, spinning back fist or elbow aside, she's not like a one-hitter quitter with her striking. She's more like a volume approach. I mean, heavy volume and hard volume, but more of a volume approach to her striking. So I think that Zhang could overwhelm Esparza on the feet, but it could also be Esparza getting Zhang down and overwhelming her on the ground on bottom, or on top rather. And, you know, just laying praying, or just doing just enough to stay active and on top. And Esparza making her way to a decision. For Esparza, I think it's going to have to be decision. But Zhang is more likely to finish out of the two. But yeah, I'm excited. This is a big fight card. Adesanya versus Pereira is the main event. And that's going to draw a lot of people, hopefully. I mean, hopefully it'll draw people. Adesanya's last fight was pretty much a snoozer. So it might keep people from buying in as much. But we'll just have to see. But that's still a very big fight. That promises to be exciting. And now this promises to be exciting as well. And this is obviously a big fight. And it's backed up by two other, good ladies fights between Blanchfield versus McCann and now Kowalkiewicz versus Silvana Gomez-Juarez. So up to 3 ladies bouts on that card so far. Obviously, this one being on the main card, we'll have to see about the other 2. But I don't think this is as clear-cut as people are making it out to be. Easy E in the chat says people are going in talking about how Esparza is going to get killed. I really don't see it. Zhang is going to run into some elite wrestling, which I don't think she can deal with. Well, it really comes down to if Esparza can get in to get her takedowns. Zhang's got to keep her on the back foot. Now, how do you think Lemos would do against Whaley? Ooh. I don't know. I think I would go with Whaley in that bout. I just don't think Lemos is that good. I really don't. Easy E says, at some point, Zhang is going to start loading up and boom, takedown. That's a very high possibility. Because if she senses the finish is near and Carla starts panicking, going for the wrestling, Zhang going to look for that heavier punches or heavier strikes, and that could lead to the takedown. It's a good possibility. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. Everything I've seen so far has been respectful between the two. No trash talk from what I've seen. I mean, yeah, there was the whole the challenger doesn't decide the winner wears. I do. I'm the champ. But that's not trash talk. That's just saying, hey, I'm the champ. The champ calls the shots, not the challenger. That's not really trash talk. But from everything that I've seen from the two, it seems cordial so far. Esparza seems excited to defend the title. Zhang seems excited to try to gain the title back. So I'm really looking forward to this bout. But that's really all I have for tonight. I didn't want to go too much in depth on this because the fight's still a while away. So I didn't want to give a full preview or a full prediction. Got to do some tape study, but I'm really excited for it. Anyway, like I said, that's all I really have. Again, please like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. The chat is still open for another little bit while I get ready to close shop. So, like I just said a minute ago, if you're new to the channel, please hit that like button. And I hope that tonight was the night that I earned your subscription. Getting a lot of growth on the channel lately. A lot more interactions with the videos. I'm loving what I see. Good, friendly interactions for the most part. A couple smart Alex. But dealt with them easy enough. Just a lot of growth overall. Building a good community here of knowledgeable fans and followers for the women's divisions, and that's what this channel is all about, promoting the women's divisions. And that's all I cover on this channel. I'm not going to cover politics. I'm not going to cover boxing. I might mention, oh, there's a big ladies boxing fight coming up, and that's going to be the extent of it. I'm not going to cover non-MMA related events, not directly involving an MMA fighter. I just don't care about talk about other stuff non-WMMA related. Plus, it kills your channel as far as the YouTube algorithm goes. It just does. So, I'm going to stick to talking about women's mixed martial arts because everything else is just inconsequential. Let's see. What do we got new on the channel? So, got a few fight reviews up from this past weekend. Got Hauagi versus Lucindo. Has a review up. Two of the Combate fights, Claire Lopez versus Rivarola, and Conor Alvarez versus Taylor Schaefer. What else? Tuesday night, we did a stream talking about Zhang versus Lee 3 in September for one championship. Go check that out if you want. Went into depth on that one. My initial thoughts on the fight, plus talked about one's matchmaking as far as why they were making that belt. So if you want to go check that out. And looks like that's about it for now. So, last chance for the chat. If you are watching on playback, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a like. Remember, WMMA Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thank you for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Before we go, one last chat. Colostrum says, I'm ready for Blanchard versus Molly. That's going to be a good one. Anyway, that's it for me tonight. We'll see you next time.